Hi, everyone. Heather and I decided that we're going to jump on here and actually answer a lot of the questions that come up in Coffee Talk or in our DMs or emails. A lot of people are asking us these questions that come up actually quite frequently, right? And one of the ones that came up today was around the finances in divorce and some of the mistakes that people make. And thank goodness we have our amazing CDFA over here who can, shed some light on what are the mistakes that people make, actually, Heather? Some probably made a few myself.
Oh, I absolutely did in my own divorce. I think it's hard and it's hard actually executing on every possible mistake out there. Mistakes are simply going to be made. But there's
Hmm.
a couple of key categories that I think people need to understand. I think first and foremost, you need to understand your financial picture, like
Hmm.
understanding what all the different assets or the debts mean and the nuances. I mean, it's everything from like a house down to a stock account, down to retirement accounts, down to, you know, tax refunds or
Right.
tax liabilities. I mean, every little nuance has is a different part of your financial picture and story. So I think the number one thing is to really understand each of those different types of assets or debts
Hmm.
and getting educated around that. I think the second biggest challenge is figuring out the different tax effects of all of those different assets or debts. So, like the house capital gains taxes are very different than what it would be on a retirement account that you may not be collecting for a long time, or a Roth IRA versus a regular IRA, or capital gains or losses on a brokerage account. So really understanding the tax effect part of it, and that comes into play, particularly when you're starting to negotiate who's getting what assets.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are just like, well, it's dollar for dollar, and it's not, it's apples and oranges. So I would say that is also a super important one. And then the last one for the top three would be understanding your budget, whether it was your marital standard of living, or more importantly, what does your post-divorce world look like?
Right.
Because you want to make sure that the way that you're negotiating is setting you up to be able to support what it is that you need from a cash flow standpoint, and your day-to-day budget, and also your financial plan for the long term. So a lot of people will take retirement dollars, but not understand that they need some liquidity, and retirement dollars, depending on how old you are, may not be that liquid.
Right.
So it's really important to sit down and really sketch out what your monthly budget and expense and all the lumpy expenses throughout the year are going to be.
Right. Which is getting in a mindset that is something that they have to move away from what they had and how they were
Oh,
living before to, and I remember that was for me, wow, that like was one of the hardest things. And I could have definitely used you when I was going through that
well,
moment.
one plus one doesn't equal two in divorce. I mean, you are
I know.
splitting a financial picture in half, and then but you're doubling some expenses, like you're each supporting your own households now, and you're doing some things that and insurance, like health insurance and property insurance, are all kind of doubled. So you want to, just be cognizant of that as you're building those budgets.
So great. And I know that you're going to go over this in our webinar that's coming up May 13th, Tuesday at 9 a.m. I'm actually going to attend too because I need to refresh on some of the things that you know. It's amazing. So please sign up. And the link will be connected in our chats. And yeah, you're going to go over all these things with everyone.
Yeah, there'll be lots of little keys and techniques and tools and tips that I'll be covering in these topics. So I'd love to have you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you.
yes, thank you.